World Cup destiny of Socceroos striker Harry Kewell has hung in the balance over the course of the last few weeks, with some suggesting he was set to miss the tournament altogether. However, our World Football News correspondent in Turkey, aka Socceroos captain Neill, spoke exclusively with his Galatasaray teammate in the build-up to his second World Cup.
H, thanks for joining me on World Football News. Exciting times for us, but let's start with, now that we're getting on a little bit, as a player, what motivates you now as a footballer?
You know what, I think as I've got older, I've learned to appreciate the game a lot more. I think I took it for granted when I was young. I never thought I was going to get old, really. I thought pain was never going to be a factor. You know, my fitness was never going to phase. You know, my strength was never going to die. And I think when you do get older, you tend to work on a lot more aspects of your game. And I find that I have to do a lot of that. And I find that when I do that, I actually appreciate more time when I actually do start on the field and actually play. I enjoy it probably 3 or 4 times as much as I did when I was younger.
So there's more reward? There's
a lot more reward, especially when you get older. Because I think when you are older, you have a lot more confidence in yourself and you become a better footballer. So you go out there and you enjoy it a lot more.
You've had a great time at Leeds, a frustrating time at Liverpool, but you still won a Champions League and you've been to a World Cup with Australia. So I mean, don't want to answer for you, but what's the highlight for you?
So it's a good question. I don't really have that many highlights. I mean, people talk about, you know, you won Champions League, FA Cup and all that. I was part of a squad that did that. I never felt as an individual I deserved it because of the way of the things that happened to me. You know, yes, I started in both the matches, but hobbled off. You know, and I don't feel like I was part of. I was part of a team, which team effort, great. But individually, I mean, obviously, as a youngster, I did well enough to achieve certain things. But no, I still feel I've got more in me to produce better football now than what I did when I was younger. So hopefully the good achievements haven't even started with me yet.
And that's great for us, great for Australia. And on that, so what would you think, what short-term and medium-term goals, what would you love to do? What's Harry Kewell not done? What's he not got on his CV?
Another club at the moment. No, I mean, as you say, this injury has come at a bad time for me, so I've got to work hard and try to secure myself. But as you say, I've got one of the biggest tournaments coming up now, and you know, it's a chance for me to show this club what I'm capable of doing, and you know, I feel like I can do that. I just needed a little rest to get my body back into shape, and now it's back into shape and it's nearly there. So I'm really looking forward to this World Cup.
So onto our group. You know, can you give us an opinion on the group that we've been put with?
I think we've been dealt a hard group. A lot of people say, you know, it's not that hard, or you know, some people have said it's very hard. But on a personal level, it's a good group for us because it's going to test us, and you're playing in the World Cup, so you're not expected to play easy teams. Obviously, first up we play Germany, which their record states in any European or World Cup competitions, they usually make it to the semi-finals or, if not, the quarter-finals. So that's going to be very difficult for us. But I think it's a great stepping stone, not only for us as a team, but even Australia is putting, again, our foot forward for putting Australia on the map. Ghana, obviously, on their day, they could probably beat anyone in the world. So we're going to have a handful there as well. And again, Serbia. You know, they're a team now that are coming up. They all can play football. Technically, they're all very good. Some of the players are playing at the best leagues, best clubs in the world. So that's going to be very difficult. So we have got our work cut out for us. But I think if we're there and we're focused on our job and we do our job properly, you know, it's a World Cup. At the end of the day, it's 11 men v 11 men, and we just go out there and play our best. That's all we can do. Whatever happens, decision-wise or results-wise, as long as we can all go in there after the game and say, you know what, we gave it our best, and that's all we can do.
And a message to the people of Australia in relation to us going to the World Cup?
You know what, the message is just, look, we're going to give it our best. You know, I think as Australians we always try to strive to win a competition. I think you enter a competition to win it. It's as simple as that. We know the odds are stacked against us, but as I say, we're Australian and we will be strong enough to take it on the chin whatever happens, and that's the best thing we could do for not only ourselves but for Australia as well.
And saying that it's a dream run for Australia, and we managed to make it to the final, because that's why we all play. We all played to get to the final. It's a tough question, I know, as a player to ask, especially when you participate in the tournament. But who will Australia play in the final? Who do you think is, the favourite or the team to beat in the World Cup?
Well, I'll still state I think England got a great chance, but obviously it all depends on one player. I think Rooney's up there at the moment as probably one of the best players in the world, and if he can stay fit, they've got such a tremendous midfield and back four and great keepers to work with. So I think they've really got a great chance, and they've also got a great manager looking after them. You can't rule out Spain. Obviously their talents shone through in the last European Cup. Obviously you can't rule out Brazil. You still got the world champions there, as in Italy. But again, you got to probably look at the best player in the world at the moment, which is probably Messi. And on any given day, he could probably just take a team apart on himself. So you can't rule out Argentina as well.
Nice work from Lucas Neill. It's the first time we've heard from Harry since reports started floating around that he'll be out of the World Cup. But he seemed there, David, to be quite optimistic about making South Africa.
I don't think that there's any doubt that he's going to be going to South Africa from the way he's talking there. We know that he's had a few niggles, but apart from that, he's had a fantastic season since going to Turkey. A lot of questions about him going there, but I think he's produced some fine football, and that's the kind of form that we need coming into this World Cup. We need our top players playing top football, and he's had a few problems in recent weeks, but his body language there and the way he was speaking, he knows he's going to be at the World Cup, and that's fantastic news for all Socceroos fans.
Laurie, it's interesting he still thinks that there's potentially his best football still to come, whether it be for Galatasaray or for Australia.
I think that's good for Australia. I think what he's getting at is he's had an interrupted career with injuries, and if he can be injury free, which most of this season he had, he's picked up that injury now, he's been in some great form. If he has that prolonged time without getting an injury, I think he can go on and get that string a season or 2 seasons together, probably for the first time in his career that would be injury free. So I think that's a good sign for the Socceroos long term, and it's a good sign for the World Cup. I think he's going to be a bit like Torres. He's going to be a bit underdone, but Kewell can do anything on the day, and I think that's what the Australians are really relying on, people like him and Cahill, to get us through to the next stages.